Here's a shot of the tank under blue light right now. I'm going to turn it on to a white light so you can actually see stuff. I just want to show you guys the tank while it's still nice and calm. Right before the light turns on, everything's kind of coming to life a little bit here. So for this week, I just want to kind of do an update on the tank and how it's kind of starting to stabilize a little bit better. We're seeing a little bit of growth in the corals, and kind of changed a little bit of the setup on the sump, so we'll kind of cover that a little bit as well. All right, so let's start in the sump this time, because we always start in the display. We'll finish with display. So here's the sump in the bottom. Normally this is like all pretty much the same schedule, blue. I just turned this on so they can actually kind of see what's going on here. But I did change the intensity of the light here a little bit. I gotta put the cover back on. I was trying to run this without the cover, but I noticed that we're getting a lot of salt creep on the side here, so I'm gonna have to put the cover back on for this, because there's a lot of water splashing from that overflowing here. So we'll do that in a little bit, but since we're foaming here, we'll kind of take that off. So changed it a little bit. I removed the filter socks completely. The reason why was because obviously, you know, having to take it out and clean it every couple days. That was one. Two, it was trapping a lot of the little shrimp. And I'll show you the little shrimp down here in a second. Also, I wanted to utilize this side as another refugium to kind of grow out some of these mackerels. So I have these baskets that I was using a while back when I was starting. Decided to use them again because I had this other thing that kind of floated, which worked fine. But because I have, as you can see there, these blocks back here, I couldn't put two of them together. So I'm just going to use this. So I have one kind of tilted towards here where it's kind of creating a flow in the basket. Everything's on the ground now because it looks like it's kind of attached. I picked up some more blue hypnea. It's in there. It's attached to the floor, so hopefully that starts growing again for me, because I really like that macroalgae, but ever since the tank crash, it kind of just melted back and really didn't have any chance to recover. So trying that again, and hopefully that does grow for me. So we have the wild dragon's breath, or orange galaxy. It's another name for it. It's basically a dragon's breath macroalgae, except for it has these spots on it instead of the flames. So here, I'll just show you guys real quick. So this one is like the flame, the OG dragon's breath, and then the rest are kind of the orange galaxy or the wild dragon's breath, whatever you want to call it. It has like polka dots in it, so it's pretty cool. And I also picked up some purple dragon's breath, which it's really not purple, it's more like a maroon color. I don't really see any flames or anything that would kind of indicate differences. If you look here, it just looks kind of plain, but again, it's kind of a small frag. I kind of want to grow it out to see what it looks like. Again, down here, looking nice. Did pick up a CC Supernova, so it's a different NEM. I'm going to keep it in this compartment here, so that way it doesn't really whenever it splits, I can't get it mixed with the Colorado Sunburst, because it does look very similar to a Colorado Sunburst. I'm gonna, you know, grow it out here until kind of really spot the difference, especially when it's small, because when it's small, it looks almost identical, and then when it's a little bit bigger, you can kind of tell by the marks on the tentacles, it's a little bit different. But again, I haven't really gotten a chance to kind of look at it a little bit closer, because it's just been under the basket ever since or under the rack here since I've added it to here. The clams over here are looking pretty good, looking solid, doing their thing over there. Over on this side, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this side. On the bottom, we have miracle mud in here. I had a bag laying around, so I'm just using it for now. But eventually, once it depletes every 6 months, I'm just kind of remove it. And figure out, you know, what to do with the bottom there. I honestly don't know what I want to do down there. The urchins here is chilling, and then the shrimps. Look at all these shrimps down here. See them? I still haven't seen them kind of grow up to like a nice size adult or a big size enough where I can kind of like put them to, you know, an area, and then I transfer them up to the main display. I've just had a ton of these little ones here. Again, I think they're breeding from the main 2 shrimps up there, the tuna shrimps up there, but yeah, I can't see any big ones. I mean, there's always little ones. Yeah, so there's a ton of shrimp in here, and again, that's one of the reasons why I decided to remove the filter socks, because they was getting a lot of the shrimps, the baby shrimps, would be from the main display and it's getting caught up in the filter socks. I would have to kind of remove it every time, so decided to just kind of get rid of it, so that way they have holes and stuff so they can kind of swim around here. And they're really active at night, especially, you know, when it's like the lights are kind of out. They would kind of go all over the place along this whole sump, up in the main display as well. You'll kind of see them like kind of going in between like the clams, trying to pick at like the algae and whatnot. So yeah, they get really active at night. So that's pretty cool. I'm hoping that again, getting some of those to grow. I did see a bunch of like at least 2 or 3 of the Tropheus babies, because I know that they can reproduce on their own, these snails here. And I saw like a couple of them. I actually picked one off of like one of the frags over here and I put them back in there. They're super tiny, and it's really interesting that they're just kind of all over the place, which is awesome. And if you look back here, so there's a compartment back here, and there's like, I think that's a Tropheus right there, just chilling on the wall, that spot. And then there's a bunch of like more like shrimp, actually, babies in the back of that panel there. So they kind of look all over the place. So it's kind of cool. Sorry, this side is still blue under blue light. But we have a couple more frag pieces cut up over here. Water's kind of a little bit hard to see. Again, I got to clean the front here, but we got some other frags of mushrooms and whatnot I cut from up top. I put down here. So everything's starting to kind of look a little bit better, and this is after a water change from yesterday, so everything looks a little bit nicer than what it used to. We're still combating a lot of this algae. You see there's a little bit of algae here on the frags and whatnot. So what I'm having to do is just scrape it every week instead of every 2 times every week. It's pretty good right now. I think as these macroalgae start growing, it's going to outcompete these nuisance algae. So I'm not too worried about that. So I quickly turned on the light for the main display here. We're doing 10K this time instead of 7, so it looks a little bit different. Everything's starting to come alive a little bit slowly but surely. Let's start with some of the coral growth. We're having a lot of the Montes kind of bouncing back. A lot of the GGs in the back here are starting to turn green, a little bit more red. The red is starting to come back. The mushrooms are all like really recovering. I don't really see one that's kind of like bad, except for one that's up in kind of the basket. I have them in the basket that are a little bit bleached, and that area has a little bit lower light and par because of the shading and whatnot. So I have them up there kind of recovering, and once they kind of get their colors back, we'll put them back down here, because down here getting about like 150-ish par. I turned it down a little bit, so it might be a little bit lower. I did adjust some of the lighting just because we don't have any acros anymore really. It's just digis, which is, yeah, they don't really need that much more light. So I did dial it down a little bit so that way the mushrooms can kind of help recover a little bit better. It was only a couple percentage, so probably the par down here, instead of 150, it's probably like 130-ish. That's what I'm guessing. I didn't get a chance to measure it, but here we are with the mushrooms. So I did do some cuts on the mushrooms. So this is my Powerball. I didn't actually cut the Powerball. I just scraped off what they were on this frag. So this Powerball, I started with 1, and then during the tank crash, it split into 4 by itself. And then those 4 became a pretty decent size. So that's one of them there, and there's still another one over here that I removed from this one plug. I put it over there. And then a couple, the other 2 are down in the sump. But it looks like it's recovering pretty nicely. I'm just gonna, you know, let it do its thing, kind of have a nice space for it to kind of grow out. So this one's kind of like slowly attaching to this. As it attaches, I'll just remove it from the basket there, or the little protection there, so it just doesn't get blown around and whatnot. Here's the Agent Orange that's recovering, or kind of growing pretty decently. When I got it, it was kind of on the bleachier side. Didn't have its color. It was, you know, recently fragged or whatever, so it's still recovering. And then we had the tank crash, so it kind of just delayed its recovery. The Doughboy, it's looking really nice. Doughboy really didn't have any issues during the tank crash, surprisingly. Godzilla over here. That one looks okay. I recently picked up a new one just to kind of replenish or replace the ones that I've lost, which unfortunately I did lose 2 of my Godzillas. Here's the Black Mambas. These are the Cali Kids. Black Mamba. It's 2 of them here. I actually split 2 more of these, and they're in the sump. So we have 4 of them going, and they actually look so good right now. And one of them's right here. That one didn't really look too happy after the cut, so I dipped it in iodine just to make sure that everything was okay, but we'll give it time to recover, so we'll see what happens there. These corals here are looking beautiful. No issues there. The green slimer, the little guy is slowly, hopefully recovering. I'm not sure. I mean, one side it has a little bit of, you know, it's alive on the other side, not this front side or this other side here, but I think it could make a recovery. It's just going to take it quite some time, so we'll keep it there and see what happens. The kryptonite mushroom, this one actually bleached back, and then something happened to it where it either split or, like, you see how like it's like white on the edge rim on the bottom there? I don't know what happened to it. Like, it just lost the side of its, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It could be the angelfish and whatnot picking at it, because I noticed them picking at that one mushroom when it was kind of like retracted and just not happy when it was bleached, so it could have been them doing their thing. Picked up another OG bounce mushroom. This is WWC OG bounce. So hopefully we can kind of get that going again. I had a really nice one and then lost that during the tank crash, so kind of have to start over, which kind of sucks. This is another Godzilla. This is the same one from that one there. When I brought it home and I went to glue it on this frag, I had to kind of like shimmy it out of its original frag, and it kind of split on it, you know, kind of tear, I guess. And then, anyways, now we have 2. Now we have 2. The magic carpet. We did some cuts on the magic carpet. I don't know if you remember, it was pretty big. It kind of covered that whole 3-inch frag up there. And now we have 1, 2, and then 3. That baby we had a while back there. And then we have 2 more magic carpet cuts in the bottom of the sump. So those will eventually kind of go to a new home once they kind of recover. The Tequila Sunset over here, this got cut too as well. It was kind of getting pretty big, so we got 2 over there. And then we got a couple. This is the recovering mushroom. I don't know if you're kind of seeing here. This is a recovering mushroom. Still bleach. Not happy. That one was the Godzilla that I gotten a long time ago, and which I think it's probably not a Godzilla. It's probably Godzilla type, but we'll see. The fish, the nems. The nems are kind of doing this thing. We got a nice little nem here, a little baby nem over there. All these are natural splits on the nem. I don't really cut the nems at all. Don't do anything with the nems. They kind of just do their thing. Here's the fish kind of chasing each other around, doing their thing. Look at that. Look at that beautiful guy. Beautiful, beautiful. They're looking happy. We're getting a lot more coralline algae growth in the tank. Before, you know, before the tank crash, when everything was kind of good, we didn't get this. We didn't get any of this here. It was really slow, to be honest. And then after these water changes and figuring out the heavy metals and the source of it, we're getting a lot of nice growth in the coralline algae. I'm surprised. And then also the urchins, they eat the coralline algae. That we don't have them algae, so I'm not too concerned about it taking over the tank. Because I really like the look of it, to be honest. And then also, you know, I have a couple urchins in here, at least three in the main here, 3 or 4. And we got a couple on the bottom here to help control the algae in the bottom. So plenty of urchins to kind of control the coralline algae, and look at that, this whole side is just covered in coralline algae. So again, not too worried about that getting out of control because we got stuff to take care of that. Got some pretty big trophies I had that kind of just grew and is probably having a ton of babies, which I'm really happy about. But yeah, everything is looking pretty good. I'm gonna probably wait until the end of the month to send out an ICP test to see where we're at on the heavy metals. But yeah, I'm going to do that probably a little bit earlier than normal, or I could just wait a couple more months because it's going to be the 6-month mark anyways. I might do that just because we're kind of really close anyways. You know, I've been keeping up with the water changes and things are looking really good for the tank, so I'm happy with the outcome of that. There's a lot of debris in the tank because we got a lot of poop going on in the tank, and also we don't have any, you know, mechanical filter or anything like that. We're relying 100% on the macroalgae, and that's what I kind of had done or set up on my previous tank, was just relying on the macroalgae to kind of consume a lot of these detritus and whatnot. Of course, nutrients in the tank is a little bit higher. The softies love a little bit higher nutrients, so that's why I'm kind of rocking a little bit higher nutrients. Obviously, some of the SPS, the Montes, they're not really that happy with it, but they can kind of adapt to the higher conditions. And then also the macroalgae, they love the extra nutrients and whatnot. They'll grow a little bit faster, and their colors will be a lot nicer. So we still have the mirror on that side, so that's why the fish are kind of going crazy. Oh, a little bit. I had this up a couple weeks, but I forgot to kind of show you guys. Bought this at Aquashella from an artist there. This was way back when. Really cool, a little nice little octopus. Maybe we'll get some more artwork or whatnot and kind of hang in the back here because we have nothing back here to kind of show. So that'd be pretty cool. All right, I'm starting to run low on battery, so wrap it up here. Tank, pretty much we're just kind of cruising here, trying to keep things stable, consistent with the water changes, and we'll see hopefully a little bit better growth this year compared to last year, because we did decent growth, but not as good as I'd expected. But hopefully with this issue resolved, we'll get a little bit better growth in the corals. All right, if you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. And like always, guys, peace.